I want to jump into something. So I did a video, I released it yesterday, and I got lots of feedback on it. The feedback to me comes down to easier said than done. Okay, because what I was asking people to do is let's not allow Trump, in this case, Trump was the example, but it could be anybody. It could be, I don't know, it could be celebrity gossip. It could be news. It could be, Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. It could be whatever the case might be. We shouldn't let anybody, anyone take our attention away from Jesus. We should be making sure that we're focused on Jesus. Yes, there's things going on around us. And yes, it is very easy. It is very easy to focus on them because we're afraid of them. It's very easy to focus on them because we're filled with anxiety, we're filled with stress, we're filled with worry, we're not sure what's going to happen, we're afraid that the worst is going to happen. And so we keep our eyes on, you keep your eye on the tiger, right? If there's a tiger in front of you, smart person keeps your eyes on the tiger to make sure that you don't find yourself eaten by the tiger. And what we end up doing is we end up neglecting our walk with Christ. We end up following this person we're afraid of instead of following the one who saves us. So that was the premise. This was one of the comments that I received, and I thought we would talk about this. So comment is, can you do a follow-up on this video? Yes, I can. How to live this out? I understand needing to focus on Christ and continue the mission by helping others, but how do we not allow this man to take over our thoughts and emotions when he is literally destroying our country and communities? How do we watch the news daily trying to stay informed on what is happening, but not allow it to consume us? I live in a deep rural MAGA country. I live in deep rural MAGA country, and I am so angry at my community and fellow Christians for allowing this to happen. How do we stay focused on what matters when the frustration and the uncertainty is only increasing daily? Brilliant question. How do we do it? It's not easy. It's not easy. It really is. It's a balancing act. Okay, it's a balancing act because, as I said, some of us are going to follow, if we're taking Trump again as the example, some of us are going to follow him because we love him. He think he's great. He's the greatest thing since sliced bread. He's going to make the world golden again, and he's going to do everything that we want us to do. He hates all the same people that we hate, so on and so forth, and so on and so forth, and so on and so forth. And we end up following him because we're just big fans. And we will follow him even though his message runs counter to the message of Jesus. He will tell us certain things that Jesus would never let us believe. And we will follow him because we think he's going to be the arbiter of all the greatness that we've always dreamed we would have. And some of us, as the author of this comment says, some of us are terrified of this guy. He's literally, we fear that he is literally going to ruin our country. And in fairness, he has done things to give us every reason to believe that he is going to ruin our country. How is it that how can I take my eyes off of him? Okay. If I'm watching the news and if I'm consuming information, and if I'm trying to stay aware and trying to stay informed, that's a good thing. I'm not asking anybody not to be informed. As a matter of fact, I would say exactly the opposite. We must be informed. We must be observing what's going on in the world around us. A must, absolute must. However, the things that we see going on around us must not consume us. They must not consume us. They fuel us. They inform our behaviors. They inform our actions. So we see something going on. I'm going to use Gwen as an example, okay? Because there was lots of talk on Discord this weekend about protests. Okay, so Gwen, I'm going to go to a protest. informed by what she understands is happening in her community. And therefore, she is choosing to go out and to protest. She's choosing to write letters. She's choosing to make phone calls. She's choosing to send emails. She's choosing to promote. Maybe she's promoting certain candidates over another. That is work that she is doing, informed by what she is observing in the world around her. Is she consumed by it? I would say no. She's informed by it. Is she consumed by it? I would say no. She is fueled by it. Being consumed by it for me would be if we were to have a conversation, okay, and we say, I can't believe the thing. So if we take it from a Canadian perspective, I can't believe that so-and-so in Washington's putting 25% tariffs up against us. What is he thinking? What a moron. Why would somebody do something like that? He must be the stupidest person in the world. And if all you and I do is bash this guy, we're not getting anywhere. If all we do is complain about this guy, we're not bashing him. We're just saying, oh my God, life is so hard because of him, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. We're not getting anywhere. If all we do is tell one another how horrible he's going to make our lives, we're not getting anywhere. If all we're doing is when we think about him, when we observe him, when we speak about him, when we share about him, if all it is just lamentation, if all it is just simply us piling on, it's not getting us anywhere. And that's what I mean by being consumed. It's the only thought we have. He's the only thought we have. His actions are the only things we think about. His actions, as horrible as they may be, cannot be the only things we think about. We watch, we see we listen to his words, we watch him in action, we observe his behaviors. And then we learn. And then we grow. And then we shift. And then we act. And then we speak. The difference between the two is his words lead us to change, as opposed to his words, his behaviors, his actions, the things we see, the things we fear, just becoming our everything. If that makes any sense, I'm trying to make sense of this. I promise I'm not trying to be confusing here. The bottom line is there's so much information being poured down on us. It's easy for us to trip and fall. It's easy for us to find ourselves in that place where all we're doing is talking about him and talking about the things he said and talking about the things he's done and worrying about him and worrying about the things that he said and worrying about the things that he's done and all of his sycophants and all of his staff and all of those people who all those loyal followers of his and loyal soldiers of his. It's really easy for us to just be completely caught up in the whirlwind, the vortex of what it is that they're doing. And we completely forget that we have a responsibility to grow based on what we've learned, based on what we've seen, based on how we behave. When I do these videos, I hope, but I see the people. I can tell when people don't actually watch the video because they're like, yeah, he sucks. You didn't catch the video. I know it. And that's okay. I'll take the click and I'll take the like and I'll take the comment for the algorithm. But I know you didn't watch it. In my videos, what I hope we do here, and somebody said the other day, well, I thought we were not going to talk about Trump. We can't not talk about him. But we won't waste our time bashing him. That is not the reason we bring Trump into these conversations. It's not the reason we bring politics into these conversations. It's not the reason we bring Polyev or Carney. It's not the reason we bring Putin. It's not the reason we bring war. It's not the reason we bring any of the negative things that we see. The right-wing Christian MAGA folks that are out there, the Christian nationalists. It's not why we bring them up. We don't bring them up to bash them. We don't bring them up to simply howl at the moon because of them. We bring them up because in their words, behaviors, and actions, there is something for us to glean for ourselves, for our divinity, for our growth, for our opportunity. It's kind of selfish, actually. We watch them for our benefit. And not just because we're trying to protect ourselves from them. We watch them because we don't want to be like them. We watch them. So we watch them for direction. Because whatever direction they're going, we're going the other way. So again, it comes down to, yes, unless we'll just use Trump as the example here. If he's doing something, we're going to see it, we're going to feel it, we're going to be watching for it. But as I watch what he's doing, I still must turn back to Christ and say, okay, man, but where are you calling me to go? I see it now. Okay, this guy wants my attention. This guy wants me to be a fan. This guy wants me to go with him. But Jesus is saying, no, go this way. Okay, I can do that. I can be aware of what this person over here is doing. I can be aware of what this president or ruler or authority is doing. I need to be very observant, because Jesus may be calling me to go in an opposite direction. Jesus may be calling me to go in a conflicting direction. Jesus may be calling me to go in a direction, a dangerous, uncomfortable direction in the face of these observations. But Jesus will never, ever call me to simply fear, and to stay in that place of fear, and to stay in that place of anxiety and worry and stress. That's not what Jesus is ever going to ask me to do. Jesus calls all of us to action based on what we see around us. Now, I'm going to end with this. Karl Barth, theologian extraordinaire, wrote something like 30,000 pages about God. I forget the exact number. I don't know if I ever knew the exact number. I think it was always just 25 to 30. Anyhow, one of the things he said is we should preach. When we preach, you preach with the Bible in one hand and the newspaper in the other. We must be observant of what's going on around us. We mustn't let it overcome us, but we must be observant of what's going on around us and learn from it and Scripture. It's a powerful thought. It's a powerful thought. So how do we do it? Very carefully. How do we live the life that we're supposed to live, while at the exact same time all of this stuff is happening, and while at the exact same time being informed by all? It's difficult. It is. It's a challenge. But it's necessary to be informed, and it's necessary to understand to the best of our ability what's going on, because that's going to help us make our choices. That's going to help us make our decisions. That's going to help us move in the directions that Jesus will ask us to move. We can't be, that's the word. We must be informed, but we must not be paralyzed. We must be informed, but we must be willing to accept Jesus's call that we move and act and speak. Amen.